Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
There you go. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. And as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. I do appreciate it. There he is. Come on in. Just waiting for my special guest to arrive, and that he has. Every Monday around these parts, we do, what do you call it, Masterclass. Masterclass Mondays on the Constitution of the Bahamas. And who better as our standing guest every Monday? None other than Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson. All the names, yeah.
That's right. You got to call all of them. Say my first name and the last name, that's a problem. Too many people out there.
Too common, eh?
Too common. Too common for comfort. So you
Yeah,
know everything. Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson.
All right, the whole name.
Good evening, Bahamas.
So how you doing, Professor?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
How was the weekend?
Very good.
Yeah,
And let me say to the men, the women of this country, it's a good thing to have some good women working with me.
Okay.
They make me look good.
All right.
They do a whole lot of work behind the scenes.
Uh-huh.
So when you see me come here,
You good
I'm
to
ready.
go.
I'm good to go, yes, because of them.
You ain't feeling your way around.
No, I feel no way around. They do a lot of work behind the scenes. God says the women are to help the men, to work with the men. And they do that very well.
You know, I'm glad you bring that up because yesterday in church, we got some clarity on that help meet thing. It was revealed that the original Hebrew language, when the word that was used, help, for help, actually means source.
Well, I agree with that too.
And the meet means helper. So the source of the help of the man. Jason, while you have to check the router, please, because I'm not getting internet access. The help, the source of that help comes through the woman.
That's correct.
Yeah. So
See, the Bible says the woman was made for the man,
well, this is how I look at that.
and not the man for the woman.
Let me digress a bit. this whole question of the Constitution of
That's
the
right.
Bahamas and what it means and who has rights and who has responsibilities
Yes.
and all good stuff.
That's correct.
And as I was preparing for this show, I said to myself, wow, I know you always talk about how it's very encouraging to you to see so many people now so interested in the Constitution.
Yes.
And it's
that's correct.
amazing because everywhere you turn now, you're hearing people say, my constitutional rights, my
Yeah.
constitutional rights. So I guess whereas, generations before just assumed or, didn't feel it was necessary to dive into it,
That is correct.
these young folks ain't taking nothing for face value. They want to know for themselves what their rights are, what their constitutional rights are, and they're making some demands.
I think it is good for the country. And young people have a role to play in society.
Hey, just give me 1 second and turn this down. Okay, go ahead.
In fact, I have to work with young people myself because there's some things that they can contribute
Mm-hmm.
to what I'm doing that I myself cannot do.
Right.
And so we have to look at it objectively because each generation has a role to play. The
Mm-hmm.
older generation, the middle-aged generation, and the young people.
Mm-hmm.
Young people are very talented, they're very gifted in various fields, and I think we should not despise them. I have two beautiful nieces with my baby brother,
Mm-hmm.
and they love their Uncle Sidney. And he has told them a lot about me. I brought him up.
Okay.
I always tell him these very hands held him when he was first born. I held him before that, he held him.
Wow.
I just happened to walk in the room, and then he had just finished cleaning him up.
Wow.
Put him in Mummy's arms. Mummy planked him right on me, say, "This is your baby brother."
Mm-hmm.
And I could remember that incident right up to this very day. Curly hair, red face, eyes tightly closed, tiny little pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been tight like that from that day right on up to now. He's a grandfather now, he has a grandson.
Wow.
But our relationship has been very strong,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not changed since he got married. I was his marriage, and it has just blossomed and grown. We're very, very close. In fact, I'm closer to him than my other brothers,
Okay.
because there's 6 of us all together. But I just say that young people have a role to play. We want them to play their role in building the nation.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I am concerned about the fact that we're losing so many males. And I always tell young males, I want you to get as young as I am. It's going to take them some time to get there,
Right.
but they have to live.
Yes.
And I said, there's only one thing I can tell you to make sure you have the longevity. You have to honor your mother and your father.
Mm.
I say, it doesn't matter whether they do this or that for you.
Yeah.
That is a living principle that you must live by, and God will see to it that you are safe and secure.
Doesn't say only a good mother or a good father, it just says only your mother and
And
father.
father, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing
With a
that.
promise.
That's how we were brought up,
Yeah.
to respect elders, all of the elders in the community, all the elders in the family. We do not say anything against an elder. That is not the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
God will take care of the problem if you allow him to do it. Just follow your path. I had to tell this to one of my nephews the other day. The respect for elders is very, very important to your longevity.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's dive into this Constitution.
I think we had 13.
We didn't finish 13. I
No,
thought
we
we
didn't finish
did.
13. We finished 12. Remember now when we were the last time we went off?
Of course. We digress.
We got 13, then 14, and 15. Yeah.
Okay, so let me go back and read 13 then.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I thought we were finished with 13. Okay, so we're looking at Article 13 of the Constitution.
Yes.
Parliament may make provision, A, for the acquisition of citizenship of the Bahamas by persons who do not become citizens of the Bahamas by virtue of the provision of this chapter. B, for depriving of his citizenship of the Bahamas any person who is a citizen of the Bahamas otherwise than by virtue of, we did this, by virtue of paragraphs 1 or 2 of Article 3 or Articles 6 and 8 of this Constitution, I remember us covering this.
Okay.
Or C, for the certification of citizenship of the Bahamas for persons who have acquired that citizenship and who desire such certification.
Yes.
Okay, I think we covered that.
Okay, all right. Okay, we can move on from there.
Okay, now, 14.
14, yeah.
1. Any reference in this chapter to the father of a person shall, in relation to any person born out of wedlock, other than a person legitimated before 10th July 1973, be construed as a reference to the mother of that person. Why these things gotta sound so complicated?
That one kind of rolled me over.
Why they can't speak plain English? You gotta be jumping through all kind of hoop to
That
understand.
is true. The language is very cumbersome.
Come on, man. It's like they don't want you to understand what this time.
But the pair so.
Let me read that again.
Yeah, you gotta read that.
My God. 14.1. Any reference in this chapter to the father of a person shall, in relation to any person born out of wedlock, other than a person legitimated before 10th of July 1973, be construed as a reference to the mother of that person. Please explain that. What am I trying to say?
In other words, in that case, the same reference is applied to the father as applied to the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Then they use the word construed as a reference to the mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole series of articles in relation to citizenship.
Okay.
That's the place where the reference to the father can be construed or considered as a reference to the mother of the child. That's what they're saying in that situation there, born out of wedlock now. Because see, the child will take the name of the name of the mother.
Right.
Okay, so in this particular case, where it mentions the father,
Mm-hmm.
in a situation like that, in those articles, they talk about the chapter, you got chapter, you got articles.
Right.
Okay, but that's all the articles in chapter 2.
Right.
Okay, so any reference to the father in the case of a child born out of wedlock can also be construed, you remember to talk about interpretations now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as a reference to the mother of that particular child. So
Okay.
even though it's a father,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be also be construed as mother.
Gotcha.
So mother and father are considered in that.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's how
Gotcha.
it is.
Okay.
It's, I have to say that the language is so cumbersome. And even though I've studied constitutional law, sometimes you gotta go over it again to
Yeah, a
refresh
couple
your
of
memory.
times,
Oh,
yeah.
yes. And some of these really stumped me. I know I was stumped on this one myself, 14.
Okay. Now, 14.1 specifically speaks to 10th July 1973.
Yes.
What is specific about any person born after the 10th of July 1973 as it relates to this?
Well, you see, you have a situation where the 10th of July 1973 we became a nation.
Right.
All right? And so circumstances can change because remember now, you will see references in those articles referring to children being born to both mother and father
Mm-hmm.
after the 10th of July 1973.
Okay.
Okay, so the 10th of July 1973, I always look at as a pivotal date because a lot of things change in that instance. We were once a colony.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the 10th of July, you're a nation.
Mm-hmm.
So that changes the whole situation of the. When you look at those articles in relation to citizenship, you will see each one individually speaks to either before or after.
Okay.
So that pivotal, and this one I always try to get people to understand. When the Constitution mentions dates, a lot of us don't like dates.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a time limit, it's a time element to do a particular thing or things. And a lot of times people either overlook it or forget about it and think it's not important. In the Constitution, it is important because it gives you a time limit on certain things.
Okay.
And you ought to meet those time limits. Because when the Constitution says you have a specific time about a child being born outside,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And the child being at a certain age, 18, 21, and they got citizenship in 2 different countries,
Mhm.
or maybe 2 or 3. The point is that the determination has to be made after a period of time. So they give them time. And even the fellow wants to renounce,
Mhm.
okay, or the woman wants to renounce. They also have a period, and all the times are different, as you can see in the article. All of them are different.
Right.
Mhm.
So this is why you really should go through this with a fine tooth.
You have to, because see, what has happened is a lot of people have taken a lot of things for granted.
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas is a good document.
Mm-hmm.
It's an excellent document. I think the founding fathers went to great lengths to give us a document. They wanted to be fair to people from outside and people born inside the country. They wanted to protect the new nation. And this is why certain things were put in about revocation of your citizenship. Even a Bahamian can have his own revoked. A lot of people don't even know that. But it's in the document. It's in the Constitution. But the thing is that we haven't paid attention to details, Ms. Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
And so it has hurt us a lot. And a lot of funny things have been happening because people have not paid attention to detail, even those who were given the responsibility to make decisions. And it is very sad, people making decisions, not understanding the Constitution, know nothing about the Constitution, but they're making these important decisions for the Bahamian people. This is why I'm delighted that there's massive surge of interest, and I said it come out 4 things. Basically, Prince Charles ascending the throne as King George III, the death of Her Majesty, the Queen, that's 2. The internal issues, the internal problems in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. People are wondering, well, where else do we look? Something has to be missing somewhere with all this thing going around. Mm-hmm. And then the external pressures on the government of Bahamas from persons outside of this country and on the nation itself, where people are pushing us in different directions, whereas we ought to, as a people, as a government, should be determining our own future. I get very upset, Ms. Malcolm, when I hear people talk about what a particular grouping did in a particular country. And they seem to think that would be satisfactory for us when we fail to realize the country has very unique things in it and we're not paying attention. Fort Castle is different from Mason's Addition. That's an entire constituency, and you have other portions with Sunlight Village is different from Centerville in October.
Right.
So we don't look at these peculiarities that are there. That's in one constituency now, and there are some others. But if you look at that and allow the people to become involved rather than getting a one-size-fits-all, and that's the mistake we've been making for 50 years. We look at what some people are doing. We don't even fully understand why they did what they did, but that's none of our business. We got our business to tend to here in the Bahamas, and we're not paying attention, even though we have sent our people abroad to learn certain things, and that's good. You're to come back and help build the country, to create programs, to create things to help Andres move ahead, Inagua move ahead, Andres and all the other parts of the country.
Do you believe that one of the reasons why there has been a hesitation on the part of those that you just described to understand the Constitution better, because of the fact that this is such a heavy document? Because several years ago, they established a Constitutional Reform Commission, and those people put in a lot of work. Did a lot of research, came out with a whole paper as to the recommendations.
Yes.
And I think that paper ain't nothing but collect us.
But I have a copy of it, and I'm glad you said what you said, because it is collecting dust. See, what has happened is, you can go through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if your people do not understand what you wrote, it is not being explained, it's not put in simple, basic, fundamental language.
Mm-hmm.
So that the woman in Baintown with those 5 boys, the man in Foxhill with 6 girls, the woman in Angleton with those 4 disabled children, and the people in Yellow Elder and Pinewood Gardens, if they do not understand what it is that you have put down, you're not going to see any real changes, because basically it locked into the legal minds of certain personalities. That's not good for the country. I have studied constitutional law, but I found out, Ms. Malcolm, it doesn't make any sense, because my people, they keep pestering me with the Constitution question, and I tell them, don't stop, that's good. It keeps my brain wicked. So I am so delighted when the Bahamian people went after this massive surge of interest in constitutional issues, and I want the Bahamian people to keep the pressure up, because it's going to help me, it's going to help the country, it's going to help all of us, even though in the midst of, and let me add this because this is important, in the midst of all of this misinformation, I won't say that people are lying to anyone, I don't think that, because I believe that a lot of them are trying as best as they can to understand, even in the midst of all of this misinformation. But we can do something about the misinformation, we can get that part straightened out.
Right.
But the thing is that the interest is there. I waited 50 years with Malcolm for this to happen.
I know, right?
Because nobody was checking for me. I started talking about Constitution. Man, tell me that's a piece of paper, so you stay right here about a piece of paper.
You were a man before your time.
Exactly.
We have a call on the line. Call, welcome to GPS.
Good day and God bless Michelle and Sydney. How y'all doing today?
Hey, you're doing well. Okay.
That's good, that's good. Firstly, Michelle, I didn't catch the first 13 minutes of your show, so I don't know if you mentioned that to the public the fact that the Supreme Court overturned that injunction or canceled it or set it aside or whatever they called it.
Well, no, because we're not talking about that stage.
No, I only wanted to bring it up just because I'm going to lead it to something that y'all are talking about today.
Okay.
That's why I'm bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I also, Sydney was talking about fathers. I wanted to also ask, is it in the Constitution, Sydney, or is it statutory law where it says, as I understand, and I stand to be corrected, that a father by law is not, if he has a child out of wedlock, he is not legally recognized as the father out of wedlock, but by law he must be financially responsible to take care of that child. Do you know that's constitutional or that's just statutory?
That may be statutory, but the Constitution supersedes any statutory
Of
law,
course,
because
of course.
it speaks to, as we've been covering these articles,
Yes.
the father and the mother
But see,
of the child.
exactly, which brings me to the point as to why I raised both of those questions
Okay.
or points of information. One of the things that I, as a Bahamian, would like to see in our country's constitution, reforming of it to reflect that issues ought never to be, in the Constitution now, should never be based on one's gender. It should simply be based on one's citizenship.
Now, when you say gender, what do you mean? Determine what gender is, because that has different interpretations for people
But
today.
now in the Constitution, this is what I can accept in regard to gender. That a male and or a female shall be recognized as designed by God to be one natural born female and one natural born male.
Okay.
Now
I can
that I
accept
can
that.
accept being in the Constitution.
But that's what the Constitution refers to.
It does?
Yes, it does.
Natural born?
What I'm saying to you is, when you understand the context, and then you check the preamble, and seeing how the Constitution was set up, it speaks to man, woman, and child.
Yes.
Okay? So we know exactly what they were referring to, but I think we're going to have to look at the document very closely, because there's an article that talks about any woman. Now, we got some strange things happening in this place. And some particular personality may decide that there's something else and professing to be a woman.
Because sex changes and all of that stuff that's going on in the world.
Yeah, and the Constitution doesn't support that, but the original intent of what the founding fathers meant. Now, I believe we shouldn't leave it wide open like that because of these philosophies and ideas where male and female to them means something different.
Exactly
Okay?
my point. Yeah.
So that is the problem that the Bahamian people have to look at and deal with.
Sydney, see, the preamble of our country's constitution, as you know, Michelle knows, and more Bahamians are become aware of, talks about Christian values
Oh, yeah.
and the rule of law.
I ain't going nowhere.
Now, the Christian values must be reflective of those things that have been placed into human existence by the true and living God. Those are Christian values, because Jesus Christ was God in human form while he was on planet Earth. Okay? But he was still God in human form. Now, to get back to the point I was trying to make earlier, in regards to I call it the simplifying of the Constitution. Not every female in this country or male in this country is a citizen. But every single citizen in this country is either male or female. Correct?
Yes, I would say correct, yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
So my point is this, Sydney.
Uh-huh.
My point is this. If we in our Constitution makes it clear that regardless of your natural born state, male or female,
okay,
that you or I as a citizen has rights as a citizen into the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, then I dare say we would never have a lot of these gender biases that's being talked about a lot in the country today because of male this and female that. It would only and simply be based on citizenship. I mean, for example, Michelle is a Bahamian citizen. You, Sydney, are a Bahamian citizen. One is a male, one is a female. But if either of you has a child born in the Bahamas or born outside of the Bahamas based on citizenship, each of you would then have the same fundamental rights provided for and guaranteed by the Constitution based on citizenship, not gender. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
And in respect to the situation with the injunction, my point in regards to reforming the Constitution would be this. The Constitution should make it absolutely, indisputably clear that anything that is illegal in the country cannot be supported nor guaranteed or given credence by the courts of the land. Because if a statutory law says A, and the Constitution supports what the statutory law says, nobody would be able to come behind and say, well, I believe Z, so Z should happen because I believe it.
Okay.
So I think a lot of these problems we're having in the Bahamas today, in regards to non-Bahamians coming in the Bahamas and abusing our country, as many of them have done, would be minimized, or I dare say clearly and effectively dealt with, if some of the suggestions I'm making had already been in our Constitution or can be put into our Constitution.
Okay.
Because, like I asked you last Monday, when it comes down to one's right to apply, the Constitution only guarantees the one to apply at the age of 18.
Within a specified period of time.
Yeah. Well, I keep hearing 18. But my point is
19.
Okay, whatever age is, the point is the Constitution gives one the right to apply. The Constitution does not give one the right to get.
No, I accept that. That's
No. What I'm saying to you is, to me, that is one of the most clear-cut provisions of the Constitution, because it says what it says without any need for interpretation, and I say honest interpretation because I believe a lot of people are dishonestly interpreting that provision of the Constitution so that they could try and hijack, quote unquote, hijack the rules and regulations of this country to fit their behavior. That should not be protected and guided and guarded. So I just wanted to say that as you and Michelle are talking and going through these Monday classes, I call them constitutional classes, I think we should also be looking at ways to uniformly, if that's the right word, uniformly reform the Constitution so that regardless as to whether one is a male or female, he or she will have the same exact rights because the rights will be based on their citizenship, not their gender.
Well, what we need to do and what we're trying to do, JT, is we're trying to get through all of the Constitution for what it says, explain that, help people to understand it, and then we could start looking at what are recommendations as to how it can be amended.
Well,
that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, and I appreciate the effort, It's just that, you know how it goes every now and then when y'all are talking about these things. The currency of the moment will always pop up and cause such ideas like I'm having and other people may bring up the company to pop up. So
I hear you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Dan.
I appreciate you calling. Okay, we got to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to continue with Article 14, and we'll now turn to Article 14.2. That's where we'll pick up on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim fix and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And we are back. Welcome back to this Masterclass Monday GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm, and my guest today and every Monday is none other than Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson, who is here to help us to understand what is within the Constitution of the Bahamas. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and we're streaming live on Facebook, either on the Global 99.5 FM Facebook page or the Michelle Malcolm Facebook page. You can also catch us on YouTube. And of course, the WhatsApp number for text messages only is 8010271. I forgot to put my water today. Something is tickling my throat. 8010271. That is the number for WhatsApp, where you can send us a text message. Okay, so we covered 14.1. Now let's look at 14.2. 14.2 says, for the purposes of this chapter, a person born aboard a registered ship or aircraft or aboard an unregistered ship or aircraft of the government of any country shall be deemed to have been born in the place in which the ship or aircraft was registered,
Yes.
or, as the case may be, in that country.
Okay, stop right there.
Please.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because you see, you hear this statement where I was born in the Bahamas.
Right.
Well, right there you could be aboard one, a registered aircraft,
Uh-huh.
unregistered aircraft.
Uh-huh.
Two, registered ship, unregistered ship.
Mhm.
And it says very clearly, if you are born aboard that particular ship or aircraft, it would be deemed, and they use this word in the Constitution,
Mhm.
where that aircraft is registered, that's where you were born.
So it don't matter if that aircraft in Bahamian
Doesn't matter.
airspace or the watercraft in Bahamian waters.
Exactly. And we have situations like that. People still talking nonsense about they're Bahamian. See, the Constitution says these things. This is why I'm saying that we have very specific articles. See, this one talk about interpretation,
Mhm.
Very specific articles that clearly point out some things where you will find that people have been giving a lot of misinformation, which is not accurate, which is totally inaccurate. That's why we have all this confusion. An unregistered aircraft, from where that came from, or the unregistered ship,
Mhm.
that particular country is where you would have been born. So you have two things. One, registered aircraft, registered ship.
Mhm.
Two, unregistered aircraft, unregistered ship. And Ms. Malcolm, you know very well that is a real problem in this country.
Mhm.
And people still say they're Bahamian. Yeah, nonsense like this. See, these are the things what I keep saying, lack of knowledge, lack of understanding of this most important document, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Mhm.
See, it says that very clearly. So not everybody supposedly born here is Bahamian. That's nonsense, that's foolishness. The Constitution doesn't support that.
Very interesting. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
Hey, Sydney, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great, excellent show, man. Listen, Sydney, you're right. You know, the Constitution is quite clear about many things, Michelle. We just tend to ignore it because of corruption. Article 7, any person born to non-parents is entitled to be registered and apply for citizenship, attaining the age of 18 and within 12 months. The next paragraph providing that they renounce their citizenship from their country of origin. Why is it that we are still swearing in the people from Hispaniola West when they are unable to renounce based on an amendment to their constitution on June 19, 2012? They cannot qualify. That entitlement that the Constitution gave them was taken away by their government, but yet they're still swearing them in. The Constitution says in Chapter 1, Article 2, that if it is inconsistent with the Constitution, it shall be null and void, and the Constitution shall prevail.
That's correct.
Okay? Forms 3 and Form 6 in the Immigration Department is unconstitutional. Why? Because Form 3 allows a person to apply for citizenship beyond the age of 19. The Constitution does not allow that.
That's correct.
Also, Form 6, non-Commonwealth countries, Haiti, France, the Constitution does not allow that.
That's correct.
Sydney is right, you know, like Michelle, some things right in your face. So the only conclusion you could come up with is corruption. And if those citizenships were to be challenged, they would be revoked based on the Constitution. That's why I am not for moving our judiciary system from under the Privy Council. Because those 5 white men, when the Constitution is read, they would straighten us out. In the case of Rooney, they made it clear that he did not apply in time. So citizenship for him is off the table. They said that. So they sent it back to Hilton, the Supreme Court Justice, for constitutional redress and address. Now, I told someone the other day, if Immigration Form 3, which allows you to apply after your 19th birthday, or Form 6, which allows people from non-Commonwealth countries to apply after their 19th birthday, you don't think Casey Fred Smith would have already put that in for Rooney? You see, Michelle?
I hear what you're saying.
If that Constitution was Fred Smith smarter than that. Hey, the only reason Fred Smith has a case right now at the Privy Council is because of nonsense by the government. When I say nonsense, they did not allow 30th corpus by Rooney, right? They detained him and never allowed him to go before higher court to have his case heard. If they had done that, we wouldn't even be talking with Rooney right now. According to Article 11 of the Haitian Constitution, he is Haitian. Any foreign-born citizen whose parent country of origin is Haiti obtain citizenship at the time of birth. They own it. It's like the prince. Prince Harry cannot shake off his calling. He owns that. You can't get rid of that. So these people who talk about Haitians are stateless. The Vienna Convention, 1961 Vienna Convention, explains who is a stateless person. Two things qualify you for statelessness. One, the foreign country that you're born in does not allow you to obtain citizenship. And your parents' country of origin do not allow them to pass the citizenship on to you. Mr. Lana disqualified Haitians because their parents' country of origin, which is Haiti, allows them to pass citizenship on to their children. So they are not stateless. A stateless person is an unmarried Bahamian man who has a child with an unmarried Somalian woman. At this time, I mean the cases before the Privy Council, at this time, an unmarried Bahamian man cannot pass on his citizenship. At this time, an unmarried Somalian woman cannot pass on her citizenship. Therefore, they have a child. That child is stateless because neither of the parents can pass on their citizenship. Haitians can pass on their citizenship, so they are not stateless. Because they are not stateless, they are citizens and the property of Haiti. because they are the property of Haiti, Haiti does not allow them to renounce because Article 13 in the Haitian Constitution, which allows them to renounce, was abrogated. In order to qualify for Bahamian, you must first be able to renounce. They cannot. So they cannot be a Bahamian citizen. We cannot even look at their application, Michelle. They don't qualify anymore. The entitlement we gave them in Article 7.1 was taken away by what their government did June 19, 2012, 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's corruption, Michelle, that when you look at it, that's all it boils down to. Thank you for allowing me to talk. Thank you, Mr. Sidney.
You brought some great information.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you for
he
calling.
did. And I am happy that the caller called in. See, this is why people need to wake up to what's happening around us in other countries and see what other nations are saying, particularly as it refers to Haiti. Okay? Because what has been happening is, and there are some things in immigration that are not constitutional. In fact, my sister was bringing to my attention today, and not today, but some time ago, and I listened to it, and I said, no. I want you to pull all that they have down, and let me go through that with a fine-tooth comb. He brought up some points right there, where, because I even heard some things that were being said, which was even read on another show, which is unconstitutional. Even departments of the government of the Bahamas are acting unconstitutional. And immigration is one of them. And they've been doing this for years, for 50 years. So, I mean, when you have your own immigration department acting contrary to immigration regulations and citizenship regulations, that's everything got a problem. This is because the people who are there know nothing about the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. They're just doing what others told them to do. And here's another thing I want to add while I'm at it. People signing pieces of paper where you and I, as citizens of the country, know nothing about it. And I heard the Prime Minister say, we are bound by a particular agreement. He didn't say what it was, but I'm going to find out. As it relates to these persons coming into the country illegally. All right? Now, people in other countries may say all kinds of things. He quoted Article 2 of the Constitution, which is correct. It says any other law that is inconsistent with the supreme law of this country, that portion of the law or the entire law, if it is null and void.
So let me ask you something. Based on everything that he would have said, particularly as it relates to the Constitution of Haiti.
Yes.
And the fact that once a child is born to a Haitian national in or outside of Haiti, that child automatically takes on the citizenship of Haiti.
Of that country, yes.
Right. And their constitution does not allow them to revoke their citizenship, renounce their citizenship.
Yes.
So does that mean then, I'm going to open up a can of worms, which in essence, I'm just going to further tear it open because he already
you need to open it. You need to open it.
So does that mean then that all of the citizenship documents that were handed out to persons who fall under that description are questionable in terms of the validity of them?
I can put it even further. Article 2 says it's null and void. It has no standing, Ms. Malcolm. See, it doesn't matter who signs it, you know. It's a matter of whether it's according to law. I keep hearing the people say we're a nation of laws. Well, then let's deal with the law. Because if you have something that has been done, and Article 2 says it contravenes this supreme law, it doesn't mean anything. And I tell people that all the time. If something is done and I know it's contrary to the Constitution, I'm going to ignore it. That's what you do. But we have the government of the Bahamas itself has violated the Constitution on many points. And that has to be corrected by the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It could be corrected by the court. The court can make a determination. The court cannot compel a government to do anything. Let me make that very clear. The court makes a determination And they ought to make their determination based on law. We talk about the protection of the law. Well, the Constitution is the supreme law. And if you're going to denigrate that, that's no wonder why we got so much trouble in this place. Because the very people who have been given the responsibility to govern this country, they themselves have contravened the supreme law. And that is wrong. But we have to, that's a big problem. That's why, you see, I hear all of this confusion. In the midst of this heightened interest of the Bahamian people, I am so delighted that the interest is heightened. So it's going to mean that we're going to see something happen which will bring order to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's all it could do. So I want them young people, keep pushing, keep asking questions. You can call me anytime you want to. Ask me as many questions as you want to. Ask those who know now, because right now, all kinds of misinformation is going on out here. By people say they know. And that's why I said, when we come to 14, we're going to see some things that are crystal clear in the Constitution. Of course, the Bahamians, we saw some other things early in the Constitution, which speaks specifically to the issue.
Okay, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good evening.
I'm fine. I called in from Atlanta. Good evening.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah. I just want to put that out there. I really enjoy the show because I really didn't know nothing about the Constitution, and I really being honest. So
yes,
I did get in a lot of information. So keep up that effort.
Thank you.
Now, that being said, I want to ask a question. We was given out a lot of citizenship throughout the years, correct?
Yes.
When I came home to vote the last time, I had to present what constituency I was from. And, you know, they asked me a lot of the questions like how long I was there and, you know, like little thorough questions.
Right.
Because I told them I just came back home to vote. I had gone to the embassy and explained what it's like before I had to vote, whatever. But my question is, the shanty towns that we have home in the Bahamas, do they consider being a constituency?
No.
So the people that have, let's just say, citizenship or whatever, and they obtain voters cards, and they go in to vote, how's that process? How do they do that process?
Well, those shanty towns are within a particular existing constituency, so they would be voting as a voter within that constituency in which the shanty town is.
No, I get what you're saying. Okay, let me give you an illustration. I'm from Freeport originally. Okay, if when they come around to my door, you could say Drake Avenue, and in Freeport, you have to have your number, Drake Avenue.
Right.
House number 5.
You got to be specific.
Right. So they come around and they take a little information. I'm asking because our talk right now to me is illegal. I just wanted to see what you can say. And here's what I'm saying. Number one, you cannot find, if you go get a map, that let's just say I own the area where they reside on, but I have nothing going on the area. Legally, like I ain't supposed to have no house or no nothing there. The area is supposed to be just clean, right? But in reality, you have about 200 houses on that land.
Right.
Right? So that's an illegal process, right? I'm just asking. How can you go to vote because they map out these areas? Yes. I'm asking. They map out the areas. So how do you vote? And this is the next question I want. The very intelligent, I wish, I'm young, so I'm trying to soak in everything he says. Every time I hear him on a show or whatever, I try to attach myself to it. I blame myself for not knowing my country rules. I blame myself for that. But what I'm asking, does the leaders, from the Prime Minister to the immigration, like what he said, does they know the Constitution? And I have another question on top of that question. The judges then, could they rule against any law that is constitutional? Any law. I'm talking about, let's just say, if you know, even the slowest lawyer, let's just say the slowest lawyer where he is as prominent as the high-tech lawyer. Mm-hmm. And he says, hey, this person built a house without a plan. Even by him saying that, and you walk into a courthouse, doesn't the judge have, what you call some type of whatever they go into school for to protect the laws of the land? That is something serious what I'm trying to figure out.
All right, let's give Professor an opportunity to answer your questions. Thank you.
Before I go, I really need document because I feel they, because there's a man that holds up two passports. I don't know his name. He holds up two passports into the house. I think where they do representatives, the last administration. I see a lot of wrong, but I don't think these politicians knows what's right. Because if he could remember what I say, I'll just step back and let him answer for me. And once again, man, y'all are brilliant, man. Stick to it. I think y'all poor people defend them. Love you all to death.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling.
The caller asks a lot of interesting questions. Mm-hmm. And this is what I like, because it tells me that after 50 years, the aim is beginning to look for answers to the many crushing burdens and problems that we have. That's a good thing. And I'm going to tell the people right now, keep the pressure on, because it's going to do good for the Bahamian people. It's going to do good for all of us. Right. And of course, I will answer, as I said to someone the other day, constitutional answers are sometimes difficult to come by because, people have their feelings, they have their emotions, they have this, they have that, that's fine. When a court makes a determination, a court is not able to make law. The court makes a decision, and the decision should be based on law. You hear the people who run this place say, we're a nation of laws. Fine. And I notice with rapidity now they're using that. We're a nation of laws. From the prime minister to the ministers to other people in there, we're a nation of laws. That's true. But the thing is that when the court makes a ruling, the court makes a determination and it ought to be based on law. Okay? The court cannot compel the government to do anything. The court makes a determination. The government can do four things. One, it can accept the ruling. Two, they can ignore the ruling. Three, they can disagree with the ruling. And four, they can appeal it. The government can do all of that. And so the thing is that the court is there to provide justice because people are looking for justice in this country on matters that appear before the court. The court has a role to play. The government has a role to play. No court can compel a government that has been constitutionally established from carrying out its responsibilities. And people need to understand that. While it is good for the court to make a determination because you got warring factions, the court is there to adjudicate and settle the matter. But it ought to be based on law. That's where Article 2 comes in your Constitution. If something is not based on the Constitution, the Constitution says to the point where it is inconsistent, very clear in there, is null and void. So we would expect the court to be fair, and you have to give them the opportunity to be fair and just to the Bahamian people.
Now this question about the ability to vote if you live in an undocumented residential area.
That's an interesting question because I know where I live, you have to have a street, you have to have a house number, you even got the color of the house and everything. And this is how they document you where you, that's according to statute law now.
Right.
And that's fine. And so when he said they asked him these questions because he was out of the country, it may seem upsetting to him, but you have to ask questions. And I am happy to see that some people are doing that. They're asking the questions. Those questions are very important.
Mhm.
And so the thing is, you should be able to find every single person who is voting. They have a proper address. They can be located. We know where John Doe is. We know where Mary Jane is.
Mhm.
And it should not be a situation where you can't find them. Because that is the way how the system operates in the country. Now, when you have people operating outside the system, now that's a different category altogether.
Right.
So this is where we have problems, because these unregulated areas, there's no identification whatsoever. So that poses a problem.
All right. Is that a call for the show? We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Michelle. Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. It was neat to see you with question with the residents with voting. But all of the voters, they go and they campaign, they have those things. Each house, and they go from door to door.
Yes.
And these people persons have to be registered on the register.
That is correct.
Well, when you do an election day, you have persons, and then they go through those, they come in with a sign to call.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
And you have to be a citizen of the Bahamas in order to vote.
That's correct.
The thing is, the way you get these, some persons, is how do you go about getting these legal documents?
That's a good question.
That's in cases that are, sometimes questionable, and that's where our system, I think that's a failure and an issue that really, really needs to be looked into, obtaining these being registered, getting these passports, getting these citizenship papers. I mean, the whole steps in order to get these things from birth. You understand the registration?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the key, I think, factor that we have to look into in order to make sure that, after the election, you have the election courts, the cases, some of the votes are challenged.
That's correct.
We had one in fine when
Yes,
that one. And then another thing too, we had, I think it's two former prime ministers who actually are on the Privy Council, right?
Yes.
So they should know our Constitution inside out. The only
Interesting comment.
pardon?
That's an interesting comment. I will
Yes,
say more
I would
to
say
it.
they should. And the only one I know was first prime minister, that the former one, the last one, who was a doctor.
Yes.
Now, so as far as the Constitution, this thing which you're doing every week is very, very, very good, and it's very informative.
Yes,
but the thing is, it's so the thing when you mention about the citizen being having, and the gentleman called and made those interesting points about a right to citizenship in the Bahamas.
Yes.
To go back now, how realistic is this? To go back when you think about when you really, if they're really serious, right, to stamp all of this out, to go back and deal with these questionable citizenship issues.
Let me put it to you this way, because I mentioned this on another show that was on 1197. And I told them the best way to deal with this problem is to deal strictly with the Constitution. See, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. The law doesn't have any mercy. It has no compassion. It has no feeling. How you feel today, you're feeling good, I can do this. No. The law is the law. When you violate the law, you're punished. It's just as simple as that. If we were to go by the Constitution, then all of this, see, if a person got something by fraud, never a citizen. Any VR, never. We have to understand it, not because somebody wrote some writing on a piece of paper and give it to somebody and say you're a citizen. This is all a fraudulent thing.
Exactly. But see, this is the hearing lies the problem with the nonsense. This stuff, and these things that has been going on from, I used the term since I was a child, right? Now that, and you always say how much now people are more aware. People are asking more questions. People are bringing up issues that you never thought that you would.
That is good.
See, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, now, I think going forward, most definitely, we have to do better and change things and improve on things, stick by that Constitution inside out, to the T, right? And ensure that it's done, right?
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I accept
and along
that.
the way, and whatever you can do as far as the backdating and backtracking and doing what you have to do, but that is that because your person who did a lot of the damage, persons who have benefited from it, they no money, they've been dead and gone. You understand what I'm saying? They benefited and they're gone, they're no longer here. So it's going to be difficult to get that one in two. But like I say, going forward, we have to do better. You know better, and you do better. But I think about that. Listen, very good. Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, I heard what Pat say, but I respectfully disagree because the thing is, as Malcolm, if you do not go from the very beginning, see, we're a small country now. We ain't got millions of people. That's a couple of thousand. This problem can be corrected. Now, those who are dead, well, they're there. But all I'm saying is, if we do not correct it from the beginning, that's where it starts. It tells you what a Bahamian is in your Constitution. If something is, see the fellow who robs and steals, you're going to say 50 years later, you've done all this damage, and all we say, okay, no problem, you just go your way. You see what kind of crap that is? The thing is, you got to correct the problem. Those who are dead, well, they're dead. But you can't allow people to remain in your country who have gotten documents, fraudulent documents, and claiming to be, see, it's an insult to me, it's an affront to me as a genuine Bahamian citizen. And you got this fellow on the side of me talking about these Bahamian, you got to buy fraud? No, cancel that, get him out of here, because he doesn't belong here. We have to correct that problem. And I am going to say to the Bahamian people, keep the pressure on, because that is what we need now. Don't talk about that if it's 50 years or 25 years. It does not matter. It was done contrary to the law, the supreme law. We do not respect our own Constitution if we behave contrary to that Constitution. Let the chips fall where they may. If I do something in this country, I'm punished for it if it's wrong. And nobody has any mercy on me, fine. But then I have none on them either. They have been living a lie in this country for 50 years, Ms. Malcolm. It is not right. It needs to be corrected. And we need a national government that is going to have it corrected, and we will have that.
All right, we have to go to a break, but I want to read a couple of messages from our Facebook audience. So Marissa says, correct me if I'm wrong, please, but haven't all prime ministers except Dr. Minnis been lawyers? It starts at the head with the leadership. It's an affront to me too, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you.
This needs to be corrected immediately. And D'Amico Baines says, we as citizens must demand the government follow the Constitution.
Amen.
All right, we have to take a break. Wow. On the other side of the break, we're going to look at Article 14.3.
Amen.
Because there are three sections of Article 14. So let's look at Article 14.3. I don't know if we'll get any further than that, but actually after that, we will be complete with Chapter 2. All this time, all these weeks we've been going over this, we're still on Chapter 2.
We're on Chapter 2, yes.
So yeah, let's get through 14.3 on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Let me go to 15.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paint, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Last is love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift, on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here, along with our very own Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson, who is here to talk about the Constitution of the Bahamas on this Masterclass Monday. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM Facebook page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm page. And you can call in at 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. WhatsApp us at 8010271, 8010271, and we're also on channel 974. That's right? On the cable Bahamas. Okay, so we are going through, those of you who are joining us late or if you're new to the show, every Monday we go through the Constitution of the Bahamas line by line, article by article, and the good professor here helps us to understand what it is that is included in the Constitution and how it relates to our rights and responsibilities. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Welcome, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am also. Professor Thompson.
Hey. How are you doing today?
I'm good, sir.
You sound that way.
Yes. As you get a little older in age, they said wisdom is the principal thing, eh?
I guess so.
I want to say good afternoon to, if Ms. Madam Michelle allow me, to JD, a well knowledgeable man, and also C. Alan Johnson, the newlywed.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm happy
Yeah.
for it.
Some other good friends are there, but, they're passing
Yeah.
on some issues. But, Professor, I'm going to say something. It may be irresponsible, but I want you to forgive me. Because you have the passion on this Constitution. I know that you are knowledgeable, and I know you have done your research, and I believe that the powers that be, they are avoiding persons like you. They say foreign is always better. But would I be wrong, sir? And I'm getting there in age. Would I be wrong to say that we are losing the fight on some issues in this country?
It may appear that way, but there's still hope for the Bahamian people. See, sometimes some things have been going on for some time, and God gives you an opportunity to change. And sometimes to us, on the human level, it may seem as if it's going on too long and we haven't seen anything yet. But like I said, it had to be 50 years or something to happen.
Well, it's never too late to do it.
It's never too late to do the right thing. That's the key. Now, I'm not too much concerned about those particular personalities who are, quote unquote, up there. Once I can get to the masses of the Bahamian people, that's where the real power, the real strength is, and I have to get them to understand that. You can see plenty change in this place. So with this explosion of interest, I'm going to tell these young people, y'all just turn up the heat, man. Keep it going, because that's what we need in the Bahamas. Because we're going to have change. It's going to be positive change for the Bahamian people. And the quicker you understand, you're going to get enough information, you're going to get enough knowledge, enough understanding. Sitting among the average Bahamian, they can make sound decisions and good judgments. And we need 150,000 like me, and I can get them. And you're going to see the kind of change in this country which will be beneficial, which we have been hurting for 56 years long. That has to stop. And so the more of you showing interest and asking questions, the man fellas talking foolishness and nonsense, but there are those here who can give you the correct answers to the questions you have.
Okay, call a
Can I
finish.
respond?
Yes.
Yeah.
Professor, I hear you. Very articulate. Professor, as you look at the world today, and we must admit, the world is becoming an immoral place. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, that is true, yeah.
For the first time, I watch football. I love to watch things, and I look at it. And the first time in the history of football, I see a commercial with Jesus in it. And I said, the owner of that team must be some way connected to God. I don't know if you watched it, but I don't know if anyone else watched it. But I saw a commercial with Jesus in it. But having said that, maybe you want to something. But having said that, Professor, we are losing the traditional family. You know that, right?
Well, there are problems.
Immorality. You agree with that?
No,
right?
I'm not going to disagree with that. That's a valid point.
Okay.
Yes.
We are losing our traditional heritage.
Yes.
And this is happening to immorality. You agree with that?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and then let's continue. We have problems having a conversation on small miscellaneous issues in this country. That's a concern. That's a concern. And JD is a brilliant fellow. We could hardly have a civil conversation in this country on small miscellaneous issues. For some odd reason, I know you know, because of immorality. Have a wonderful day.
Can I respond?
Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
No, the thing is, he has his view, and I agree with the Constitution. You allow people to express their views, ideas, and opinions without interference. I'm not going to interfere with that. Let me just put it this way. There's a God in heaven. And God has more compassion and mercy than all of us put together. God gives the Commonwealth of the Bahamas the opportunity to change. And sometimes people say it's taking so long. We have made some decisions, and God is going to allow us to see to it the decisions that we made, contrary to His will, are not right.
Well, it's a very simple principle, you know. God don't even have to get involved. The principle is this: you reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow.
So you can't sow peas and expect corn to come up.
That is true.
So we right now are reaping what we have sown.
And it's very costly. So the thing is that we have to reach that point where we see it. The hardest thing for a human being to do is to admit error and change. You don't see any government or any department of government admit to doing anything that was wrong. They will always try to say, well, it's a misstep or some other thing, when the Bible says it's a national sin. See, God calls it what it is. But when we fail to admit we are wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to admit it and say, yes, I'm wrong, and I'm prepared to change. So we've got to get people prepared to look at themselves and say, you know something, I was wrong on this point, I was wrong on that point, I need to make changes. Now, I am not going to look at it from a hopeless situation, because there's a God in heaven who has merciful and compassionate to the human race. And the Bahamian people, in spite of what may be happening around you, can change based on the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that says we are a nation under God. The God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is the God of the Holy Bible. That is not going anywhere anytime soon. It was the same with the children of Israel who were disobedient. They had the law of God right in their hand. But God was merciful to them and allowed them to get some licks. And then after a while, He pulled them out. Say, hope you all wake up. I am hoping with this massive surge of interest in the midst of all of this misinformation, you have to live with that, because people have a right to express their view. So I'm never going to interfere with that. But where it is wrong, Professor Thompson is going to tell you is unconstitutional, and I can prove it. Now tell them to prove that what I say is wrong, using that same document. But you have to allow that to happen. And so we're going to come out of this, I think we're going to come out very well, when the dust is settled, and the Bahamian people are going to be better off in our next 51st year going on, and going on into the future. We have to move very, very quickly, because we don't have that much time. And so I'm happy to come out every Monday to these classes so we can help to get the Bahamian. I'm happy that you have such a large listening audience who tune in every Monday to hear what I have to say in relation to the Constitution. So they're going to spread the word. They're asking questions. They're talking with their people. Others are doing research too, like the gentleman who called in. That's a good thing.
Right.
And I want to encourage that, so they can prove to see what Professor Thompson has been saying all these years was right on target, because now you have others out there who are proving it to be so. And that's a good thing.
All right, let me read a couple of comments coming in on WhatsApp, and then we're going to take a break before we look at 14.3. So this particular person on WhatsApp says, if I can recall correctly, a few years ago, a lady had talked about translating the Bahamas Constitution into modern language. Is Professor aware of this? And if he is aware of it, was the lady successful? And the same person says, let Ms. Pat know that we will correct the citizenship issue from the beginning. We are not going to move forward as suggested by Pat.
Okay. I did understand that one particular person wrote it in layman's language. I don't know to what extent it was done, whether it was the entire Constitution or not. But let me get people to understand something about Bahamian people. See that woman in Bayingtown with them 5 boys? She has to work hard to feed them hungry children.
Right.
Now she got one little radio, you know. So while she cooking and while she baking, while she working in the house, she can hear Professor Thompson explaining the Constitution in a language she can get it. You're going to find that many of them, the best medium to reach them is the radio. Because see, they can always have a radio. They may not have TV, but they have a little radio on the phone or whatever. And so a lot of people have told me how they listen in all the time to the show. And I said that is a good thing. Because they want to be educated, they want to get sound information where they can make sound decisions and good judgments. That's a good thing. So the thing is that we have to help those. See, I want to get to them. I'm not particularly concerned about the fellows who say they're in charge. That means nothing to me. Whether they listen or don't listen, them people on the ground will change things. And once I get 150,000 of them, I'm straight. I got to worry about nothing. That's what I'm pushing for. So once they get it into their psyche, into their mind, into their heart, that's when the change will come.
Fascinating, fascinating stuff. Okay, we are going to take another break. When we come back, the masterclass on the Constitution continues with Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson, and we will be moving forward to Article 14.3.
Yes.
When we come back on the other side of the break. And then that will conclude Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Bahamas. So stay with us.
Huh?
Yeah.
But it's important to be explained to maybe people have the same goal.
Right.
That's very important.
All right. So stay with us. We'll be back in a bit.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Longevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Longevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Track Life, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Longevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift, on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here, along with Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM Facebook page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page. You can call in at 3260271. 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. You can also WhatsApp us at 801-0271, and we are on channel 974 on Cable Bahamas. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
This is Ms. Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be clear with Mr. Thompson and the text. Don't misconstrue my words, please. Please don't get me mixed up. Okay? I know I speak fast sometimes or whatever. You may not understand what I said in reference to moving forward. What I said was, yes, investigate, find out what we can find out, and do whatever needs to be done in reference to corrupt citizenship or whatever that is, right?
Right.
The person's obtaining safety legally. But we must learn from it. Learn from all the things that are being uncovered. And do not allow it to happen going forward.
Right.
So how is that saying I'm ignoring what happened in the past, Mr. Thompson?
Ms. Pat, sometimes people, and I'm not saying Mr. Thompson suggested that, but, you know,
No, I
sometimes...
heard his response when he said in reference as if I am off wicked, or I am just saying, just skip down the path and the lane and forget about what happened and allow a person, because I said it happened, it was going on for years.
Right.
It happened, and it was happening for a long time, and the powers that be and crooked people in different regions allowed it, and they did this. You understand what I'm saying? Then you go ahead and you do all of these things. It can be really interesting to go and investigate it. That's my point. I never said forget about what happened and just block it out and move forward.
Got it.
So I just want to be clear on that.
Okay, thanks for calling back. All right, let's move on. 14.3, because we don't have a lot of time left in the show. 14.3 says, any reference in this chapter to the national status of the father of a person at the time of that person's... Hold on, let me read this again. Any reference in this chapter to the national status of the father of a person at the time of that person's birth shall, in relation to a person born after the death of the father, at the time of the father's death, and where that death occurred before 10th July 1973, and the birth occurred after 9th July 1973, the national status that the father would have had if he had died on 10th July 1973 shall be deemed to be his national status at the time of his death.
Yes, that's referring to the national status of the father,
Explain,
whatever he
please.
was.
Explain,
because
please.
the thing is that it's rather written in complicated language,
Yes.
And that's the difficulty that a lot of people that have with it. It's speaking in any reference to the father of the child, mentioned in all of those articles in chapter 2. Okay? The child born after the 10th of July 1973. It would be deemed as if the father of that particular child would have the same status that he would have had if he were alive on the 10th of July 1973. Because the thing is that what they're doing there is trying to reference the father of the child, of a particular person born after the 10th of July. Meaning, whatever status he would have had back then, that is still valid July 10, 1973 going forward. That's basically what it is saying. Okay, now that's in reference to the father, and I'm trying to get people to understand the Constitution makes references to, and you notice they talk about mother, father, right? In this particular, in section 3, it speaks to the status, the national status of the father himself of that particular child. Meaning that even though he's dead, whatever that status was prior to July the 10th, 1973, and the child born after July 10th, 1973, the status remains the same. It's written in a cumbersome way. I understand that, but you just got to pull it apart And sometimes I find myself having to really pick this thing through with a fine tooth comb, even though I've studied the law. But you don't take anything for granted because some things just jump out at me, like I said about this article here.
Come back closer to the microphone.
Just like I said in this article here, I was stumped by that same section 3,
Right.
14.3 of that article.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a call on the line.
Okay.
Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey, good day, Ms. Malcolm, and good day, Professor.
Hey, how are you?
Great going on. Thank God for like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Professor, tell me something. This Constitution thing, it ain't online. Oh, Ms. Malcolm, is it online?
Yes.
Like, huh?
Yes, it is. All you have to do is just go to Google and type the Constitution of the Bahamas.
Okay.
And you'll be able to pull it up. And you can download it in a PDF format.
When you say PDF, what do you mean?
A PDF format, you know.
Sharp,
I don't know what PDF stands for. That's a file. You download, download it on your phone, and you will have it there. That's where I'm reading it from. I downloaded it onto my phone.
Okay,
From
I
the
get
internet.
someone to do that for me. I was thinking, but for us blind people, how to be so
Yeah.
It would be so very good if we could have it in audio. But if you say it online, that means that my phone will could talk.
Should be able
to read it just like I could read the Bible.
Okay.
Alexa might be able to pull up the Bahamas Constitution and read certain chapters. I have a question. Why, Professor Ms. Malcolm, you think you could tell me, because I listened to one show this morning, right? And maybe they got, I realize maybe you don't do it, plenty of these talk show hosts, they listen to other people's show too. They once ago they didn't used to do it. They find time to do it. And I hear this gentleman say, just get rid of the whole, like, get rid of, what do you say? What do you call it? 7, number 7?
Article 7.
Article 7, they get rid of, you know? I said to myself, well, why would they do that? Professor, why would they want to, why would Bahamians or people here in this country say something like that? Is that something would either be out of the Constitution, or that something would protecting us, or something would they want move?
That's an excellent question that you asked. I'll answer it this way.
Yeah.
Article 7.1 has been abused, all right, and misrepresented by personalities who have personal interests. It would be good, and I'm going to say this because it's been suggested repeatedly over the years, that it needs to be rephrased. In other words, it needs to be changed to make it crystal clear as it relates to persons who come into the country who have children, and neither of the parents are Bahamian citizens.
So because the interpretation from lawyers or something, you're saying it's not crystal clear enough now?
No, it's clear now, but what I'm saying to you, it has been abused, because once you pass 18, 19, you have no standing. But there are still those, and even with immigration, as one caller said, you're still dealing with people after they pass the age of 19. That's unconstitutional. So you have to make it clear as it relates to that kind of situation, because Article 2 talks about the protection of the country, but it doesn't seem as if those who are dealing with the law are looking at Article 2, no, Section 2 of 7.1.7.2, because you have 2 portions to it.
I think everybody needs to learn this Constitution, especially me who might be blind and can't see. I need to make sure, know my rights and know my Constitution. One last thing, Professor. Two people, woman and man, illegal immigrants in the country. I'm talking about someone who come on with a passport. I'm talking people come on the boat. The Haitian people who we talking about, if they legal in the country and they have a child, does the Constitution say even them could apply when they reach 18 or 17, even them? Because I think if that's something in 7 or something in the Constitution would need to be straightened out, we need to make it clear to them. Because there's so much of them there, it's like they're making a mockery of the thing. If they come in, they have baby, that means they get some rights. I mean, I don't know what rights they should have, but I don't think it should be fully carte blanche, just like being able to vote.
Let's let him answer Papa, because we run out of time.
All right, I'm going to keep it a good way.
Thank you. Go ahead,
You
Matt.
touched right on that article today. I'm glad he called in and asked that, because we just covered that.
Right.
And the Constitution is crystal clear in that regard. There's no ambiguity in that. But like I say, there are those who want their personal satisfaction to supersede the rights of the Bahamian people, and that's not good. So something, Article 7.1 needs to change. It needs to be rephrased because it has been abused countless times. And people have quote unquote gotten straight, whatever that's supposed to mean, in the Bahamas. And I asked them, what do you mean by straight? Because I keep hearing that all the time. But no, it says they were born here, and if they're born on a ship in Bahamian waters, ever that ship is registered, if it's unregistered rest of where it came from, they're born in that country. They're deemed to have been born in that country. That's clearly cut in the Constitution. The same article we're on now.
We gotta take a break. The thing is, so some of these little rickety boats, so they come in here,
Of course.
they ain't registered in no country.
Well,
That little rickety boats that they coming in on.
I'm agreeing with you. Now, the thing is, the unregistered craft.
Right.
See, the Constitution says
Covers both.
It covers both, the registered one and the unregistered one.
Right.
And in that case, where it's not registered, the particular country where it came from.
Okay. We gotta take our final break of the show. Stay with us. This is GPS. We'll be back.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with mailboat US addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Okay, we're back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Only a few minutes left of the show, Professor. So I just want to ask you one question. People see the Constitution, but I don't think for the most part, particularly younger Bahamians, people understand how much work is put into preparing a Constitution and the process that is involved. So seeing that we only have 3 minutes left in the show, as opposed to starting 15 in chapter 2, let's talk about the process that would have been put into preparing such a document.
Well, going back to 72, there was a lot of discussion with the Bahamian people. Different factions in the country, the religious people, the people in education, people in business, the average citizen. There was what we call the Green Paper. They had discussions in the House Assembly. And it was widely publicized at that time. Also, after the Green Paper, they had the White Paper. The White Paper was the final document that was used just prior to the election. And that was widely circulated to get the views of the people. And the people participated. In fact, that was the first time 18-year-olds voted, by the way. They ushered in the new nation called the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. September the 18th. September the 19th, I think the election was. 1972. That was the day after my birthday. And so the people were anxious to participate, and they did. And it would be good if we can have that kind of process done today, but I think we have to push for that, because sometimes you're going to find in a situation like with all these issues today, you may find an administration may be walking in a different direction from the general public. So what has to happen is the public has to let their views be made known. You got to talk to your representative. If you can get a hold of them, I ain't got a hold of mine yet. But I intend to deal with that. I'm going to have to get a hold of him, because you got to speak through him in the House of Assembly. That's what the system is. So we're going to go by the system. But if he doesn't listen, that's not a problem. We still can get done what we have to do. Article 24(1) of your Constitution gives you the right to organize yourselves constitutionally. And of course, you have to be a registered constituent. I want people to understand that. Nothing's going to happen if you're not a registered constituent. That is extremely important in the constituency where you live, because you're going to have to be called upon to participate in the parliamentary democracy of the country. All that beating around the bush and talking about this thing and that thing, you could be a party of political parties, but when it comes to choosing a representative, that's serious business.
All right. Music is playing. That means we got to go. It's 4 o'clock. Professor, thank you so much for being here today. And thank you to all of you who listened or watched or tuned in any kind of how. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Appreciate it. Tomorrow is the day of love. Yeah, some of you are leaving a shepherd needle. But anyhow, we are going to talk about the greatest love of all. And that'll help us to get through this Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
One way or the other. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow is the 14th.
Local 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those.